Well, hi again, neighbors, and welcome to yet another edition of Litter Media Live. With the icon Mike Smith, I'm Dan Ramey, and good to have Mike back in studio with us.
Good to be back.
Out yesterday, a little extra holiday time away, I guess is.
Well, it turned into a work day.
Yeah, that's what happens when you go and do stuff.
Oh.
Mike's sauntering about thinking, I'm just going to go to Circleville. And then you stumbled upon something.
Something that I had not seen, but we'll talk about that here in a minute.
All right, so that's all just ahead in what's happening with news. Also today, we've got this date in history, but it being Tuesday, it is Revolutionary Tuesday.
Yeah, Revolutionary War Bicentennial Minute. Compliments of the Daughters of the American Revolution, Nathaniel Massey chapter.
All right, so we'll talk about that in just a bit as well. But first, let's take a look at this fantastic forecast.
Yeah, nice day yesterday. A little warmer today. Sunshine and a high 69. More sun tomorrow. A little warmer, too. Temperatures will climb up to about 73, I think, is going to be the high late tomorrow afternoon. I don't see any sign of rain anywhere.
No. 76 on Thursday.
We'll take it.
I got a feeling there's going to be some folks looking for mushrooms.
Very good.
It's about that time of the year.
Very well could be. A lot more people are out mowing the lawn, so a lot of springtime activities taking place around the Scioto Valley and other counties.
And the only people that don't like it are the ones who have allergies because there's a lot of blossoms going on across the Scioto Valley today. So take your allergy medicine and move forward. That's how we make our way through all of this. All right, coming up, a look at what's happening with news next. But first, Accurate Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing, your trusted comfort advisor. If you have an issue with any one of those three services, give them a call. Click on this ad anywhere you see it at littermedia.com. It'll take you right to their website where you can learn more about the services provided by Accurate Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. News next. For transportation options in Ross County, call Ross County Health District's Mobility Management Team, 740-779-9652.
At Rathkamp Financial, we offer customized investment solutions and superior client service. We believe in long-term relationships and working to earn your continued trust. Our greatest satisfaction comes from working with clients for many years and helping them realize their dreams.
It is news time, and where are we starting with the stories today, Mike?
Going around town. The wife and I took a little field trip yesterday and got a sandwich, went into Ted Lewis Park, and I said, wait a minute, what's all this? We found a bunch of changes. City of Circleville is putting the finishing touches on a $2.3 million renovation project in Ted Lewis Park that started in January of last year, mostly finished by December of 2022. They're just now doing some of the finishing touches to get this ready for a public debut and dedication on Friday, May the 26th at noon that day. Some of the new renovations include a splash pad, playground, new shelter, landscaping, and sidewalks. Now you see this is kind of like a meandering sidewalk that goes through the entire park, and then there's a main sidewalk that you see right there that runs in front of the new shelter. That's brick. I thought maybe they should have painted it yellow. That way it would have been the yellow brick road.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Obviously the trees just planted in this nice little area there. You can see the splash pad. That's the playground in the background.
I don't see ball diamonds. Do they do away with the ball
No,
diamonds?
those are behind.
Okay.
They've been there for many, many years. So we just took pictures of the new things that we were seeing yesterday in Ted Lewis Park.
And what has been filled in was the pool that I used to swim in as a kid.
Yep.
And it's funny. Yesterday we had Gold Cliff Park. I used to go swimming there and used to go swimming in Ted Lewis Park. And now it would be a splash pad.
I think they've found that trying to maintain municipal pools is just a very
costly,
expensive
yeah.
proposition.
Yeah.
Also, Mayor Luke Feeney in Chillicothe announcing that they'll hold neighborhood office hours on Tuesday, April the 18th. That's a week from today, from 10 a.m. until 11 a.m. at Krispy Kreme Donut. That's at 47 North Bridge Street in Chillicothe. Hours provided an informal setting to chat with the mayor about city affairs. If you have any questions, you can always contact his office ahead of time at 774-1185.
And this will be almost like open air because you'll be able to just look inside. People driving by Krispy Kreme, you can see everything around the bar there.
Yeah. Now, it doesn't say anything about the mayor buying your donuts.
I think that'd be a great idea.
Yeah. Well, you'll have to call Luke ahead of time to see what the deal is on that. Ross County Genealogical Society Speaker Series has the Morgan's Raid of 1863 tonight at 7 o'clock. That's at the Genealogical Society. Robert Irvin will be the keynote speaker discussing Morgan's Raid. And that came up through Pike County, Scioto County, and into Ross County.
I live on Morgan's Fork Road. Right behind us is Morgan's Fork Creek. So, yeah, it was part of our history.
Heard it wasn't funny at the time, I think, but as it turned out, one of the bridges on the south side of Chillicothe was burned by the city for fear that Morgan was coming. As it turned out, it was the Union Army. Yeah. And after the war, the Union wouldn't pay to replace it because they said, you guys burn it down. You pay for it. So
back when the government had sense.
Yeah. So that may be some of the discussion. That, again, at the Genealogical Society, 7 o'clock tonight. You said they moved their location. Where is it now?
Yeah, the Genealogical Society used to be over on Douglas Avenue, and they moved it a couple of years ago over to the old, what used to be the unemployment office on South Pain Street, close to Jerry's Pizza.
Gotcha. So this is an event that is open to the public if you want to take that bit of history in. Chillicothe Evening Lions Club getting ready to fire up their fish and tenderloin fries. The first one's coming up on April the 21st from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. at the Lions Shelter on Enderlin Circle. They have a drive-through and walk-up service. Sandwiches are $8, or as we say at our house, sandwiches, and $8 for that, $10 for a dinner. One of our good sponsors, Kingston National Bank, is sponsoring performances in the parks for both the villages of Adelphi and Laurelville. And as you can see, those will get underway in May and go through September, different times, different dates for each of those, and the entertainment is provided on that poster.
I was looking for it and finally see it. Marty Ford is going to perform. Mm-hmm. Marty works at K&B.
Yeah, also sings at our church. Mm-hmm. Central Ohio families throw away an average of $2,000 a year in food that may not need to be thrown out. Many times foods last well beyond the date on the package. Solid Waste Authority of Central Ohio has developed an online food storage guide to help Central Ohioans extend the shelf life of their food. In fact, when it comes to determining whether food is fresh, don't rely only on a date labeling. Use your senses too, like tasting, smelling, and looking at foods is a good way to tell if they're still okay to eat. April 5th is a date 11-year-old Hayden Hubbard will remember for good reason.
Yes, here he is with the boss, Bruce Springsteen. We had an opportunity to catch up with him yesterday, and if you missed any of this was his YouTube channel, which is HH3 Saxophone. Here he is. He's got the cast. They were holding up a sign that said, "Sign my son's cast." And Dad's shooting the video here, and Bruce kept singing the whole way through. He was singing 10th Avenue Freeze Out, and so he's coming through and gets an opportunity to shake the hands. We talked with both Dad and son yesterday.
Well, you signed my son's cast, and then we just brought it.
Very cool. So you're holding this sign, or is Dad holding the sign?
He's holding the sign.
Okay. Holding the sign and your smartphone as well, right?
I had the sign and the smartphone, and Hayden had the Sharpie in hand and the cast out ready to be autographed.
Were you nervous at this point when you saw him come walking down?
Yeah, I didn't really know what to expect because I didn't figure it was very likely that he would actually sign my cast. Maybe I would get a high five, but yeah, I wasn't really expecting it.
Yeah, and then here comes Bruce Springsteen. He's just steps away from you. When you see him pull out, grab the Sharpie and start to sign it, what's going through your mind at that point?
I just can't process anything. This is cool.
And it was pretty cool. Now, of course, if you were looking for the cast, he had it cut off yesterday, and he did bring it in. So they went out to the orthopedic surgeon at Adena for an appointment. He got the cast cut off. He brought the cast in with him, and there is the cast signed by Bruce Springsteen. And asked Dad, I said, so who was it that got cut through here? Because they weren't going to cut through Bruce Springsteen. He says, well, I took it, his mom took it, Grandma and Uncle, I believe. The cut was on the other side there. But you talk about making lemonade when you're handing lemons.
Oh, yeah.
Here he is. He's playing soccer just a couple of weeks ago. He's in goal. He goes to block the ball. The soccer ball is what broke his wrist.
Oh, wow.
And so he had to get this cast, and they bought tickets the day of the concert. And how did he end up where they were right there in front? Well, you can read more and learn more on our website, but I will take a moment just to tell you that Mom was pretty bright. What she decided to do is say, let's take a look at the YouTube of his concerts, and because they knew that he would come out and walk amongst the crowd. They studied several videos to see where he would be coming. They stumbled into those tickets, right place at the right time.
You plotted that out very well.
That is pretty cool. So you can make the most of an opportunity. So, and they were at MetLife Stadium last summer for a Paul McCartney concert in New Jersey. Wow. So these kids got to see Paul McCartney last year, and who comes out towards the end of the concert? Bruce Springsteen.
Two real icons.
And performs Glory Days, and then they also performed a Beatles tune. So
not bad.
Yeah.
Not bad.
Pretty big experience, and I just hope he has yet even bigger experiences. I mean, he's only 11. So
yeah,
he's got a whole life ahead of him.
A lot to go up to, yeah. We close out with our road report to Pickaway County, US 23 northbound and southbound between Route 316 and the Franklin County line. We'll have daily lane restrictions through October for resurfacing and crossover removal. So just count on that being a norm for the next several months. And that's your topic headlines for this Tuesday.
All right. As the geese fly, we'll prepare for sports. Had a number of things happen yesterday that captured our attention at the high school level. So we'll talk about that and a whole lot more. Even the WNBA had its draft last night.
Yeah.
And there was one Buckeye taken in the 13th pick overall. So that's just ahead here with sports in just a moment. McDonald's tomorrow will have their open interviews for the opportunity to meet with the manager, and if you're looking for work, they're looking for you. Always looking to add to their crew members. So if you want to participate, stop in at any one of the 7 area locations for McDonald's. You'll find them 4 here in Chillicothe, 1 on Western Avenue, East Main Street, North Bridge Street, and there at 2nd and Bridge, and also in Circleville, in Greenfield, and in Waverly. You can't miss those. Just look for the Golden Arches. McDonald's.
I'm loving it.
Coming up, sports next.
It's time to get serious about your lawn. It's time to step up to the best mower brand money can buy. For nearly 4 decades, Skag has been the easy choice for lawn care professionals. Don't settle for anything less than simply the best when it comes to mowing your lawn. There's sure to be a Skag model that's perfect for your yard, big or small. Make your lawn the envy of the neighborhood. Visit your local Skag dealer today. Skag, simply the best.
You haven't had vodka soda like this. No one has. Made with the world's smoothest vodka plus real juice. New White Claw Vodka Soda.
Hi, I'm Dave Pinkerton with Advanced Services Heating and Cooling, your local heating and cooling expert. If you want quality service, quality installation, give Advanced Services a call, 740-773-4499.
Scioto Valley Dumpsters, it's that time of the year where people are starting to do a lot of cleanup stuff. In fact, Carl was telling me this is one of their busiest times of the year. So if you're looking for a dumpster to put all that stuff that you're cleaning up in, give a call to Scioto Valley Dumpsters, 740-253-8389. They have a variety of different sizes of dumpsters, and they may, in some instances, even help you clean things up. Get more details by calling them now, 740-253-8389. It is time for sports, and high school baseball had a couple of things happen yesterday.
Yeah, a couple of no-hitters in the SVC. Huntington's Dalton Black fired a no-hitter at Adena, winning 11-0. And Unioto's Owen Link fired a no-hitter in their 10-0 win over Piketon. Unioto and Adena remain unbeaten in SVC softball with wins. Those two teams have yet to play each other. Mid-State League softball saw a lopsided score. I had to double take this, thinking that looked more like football. Tays Valley beat Fairfield Union 34-14 in 5 innings. That's a lot of runs. 14's a lot of runs, but think of that, 34 runs in the Tays Valley.
I'm trying to remember if they have lights at Tays Valley for the softball diamond. Because how long would it take to score, what would that be, 34, that'd be 58 runs?
58 runs. No, 48 runs.
Is it 48?
Yeah.
Yes, 48.
Tays Valley
My
math
Tays
again.
Valley math again.
Yeah. The lights went out on Dan's math class. That's why
a long time ago.
Yeah. But, they'll be back at it again around the area today. Also, baseball on the major league scene. I tuned in to see the Reds go ahead 4-3, went to bed, and when I woke up later, I found that they ended up losing this game.
And this guy pitched a masterful game and had to leave trailing 1-0. Mm-hmm. And the bullpen came in, did what it needed to. Alexis Diaz looked like Alexis Diaz last night. And then they went into extra frames. Reds got a nice hit, left a guy on third base after taking the lead. Mm-hmm. They had scored 4 unearned runs to take the lead. And then here comes one pitch, the first pitch from Law. And Murphy sends it straight away center field.
2-run homer, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, 2.
Because in the 10th inning, you've got the runner at second.
Yeah.
And so, yeah.
So, yeah.
One swing of the bat.
Thought we had a win last night. Didn't get it. So the Reds drop again, 1 game under 500. Back at it again in Atlanta for Game 2 of that 3-game set tonight. The news was better for the Guardians. They beat the New York Yankees by a score of 3-2 in New York.
And here's how you celebrate.
And, of course, they're in New York again tonight.
Actually, they're in Cleveland.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought it said in the Queens on that.
They said they are the king of Queens.
Oh,
yes,
I got
yes.
you.
So you got the Reds
okay.
in Atlanta. You got the Yankees in Cleveland.
All right. NBA playoffs for the guys get underway. And for Cleveland, Game 1 on April 15th against the New York Knicks.
I believe ABC will have the coverage of that.
Yeah.
So we want to see that. And the WNBA last night, there she is. Mike Sell.
Boom.
With the shot. She is on her way to Indiana to become a member of the Indiana Fever. And they also had the top pick overall, and that was this young lady.
Alea Boston. Mm-hmm. Sorry, I've never heard of you. And she was the 2-time Naismith Defensive Player of the Year. Okay. Because I thought the Player of the Year was the gal from Iowa. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Makes sense now.
Yeah.
That's all I got.
All right. Okay, coming up in just a moment, this date in history, and we are hearkening back to 30 years ago?
30 years ago today.
Plus, our revolutionary moment is all coming up. It's quite revolutionary in a special way.
You're so quick.
I was really surprised when I was learning a little bit about it. Mm-hmm. Here we can go to learn adult education. Pickaway Ross Career and Technology Center. If you're looking for skilled trades, or maybe you want to be a member of a public safety crew or health technologies, they have several courses that you can jump into to get your certification. Click on this ad, Anywhere you see it at littermedia.com, it'll take you right to the Pickaway Ross Career and Technology Center website, where you can see all of their services for adult education at Pickaway Ross CTC.
It's the details that make the difference between good enough and simply the best. At Skag Power Equipment, the difference is in designing lawnmowers with your convenience and comfort in mind. At Skag, we believe that quality and substance matter, and that you'll appreciate the attention to detail and craftsmanship we put into every single product. Thick steel and heavy-duty components provide you with unmatched reliability and performance. Skag, simply the best.
This is Big Chillicothe. Horizon's 100% fiber internet service is coming to your area. Call 740-772-8331 or visit horizonconnects.com/Chillicothe to sign up today.
This station history, we go back to 1993.
Yeah, 30th anniversary of the Lucasville prison riot. A tragic story there. 1 guard and 9 inmates died in that incident that lasted 11 days. And one of the things that brought this to our attention was that there were, as you can see there, a group of local guys that were RCI tactical entry team members that were sent to Lucasville to help contain that situation there.
And that's a group meeting, was that 20 years after?
I'm not sure about that.
And then they got together again 5 years ago.
Yeah.
So there you see them aging a little bit along the way.
Just a little bit.
Yeah.
But we appreciate all of the
service,
folks that served during that very difficult time. 30 years ago today is when that started down in Lucasville. And our Revolutionary War Bicentennial Minute, we do this each Tuesday, compliments of the Daughters of the American Revolution Nathaniel Massey chapter. Dr. James Jay, who's the brother of First Chief Justice Supreme Court John Jay, created an invisible ink. Now, if you've seen the movies National Treasure, you thought, there's no way they had anything like that in the 70s. Well, yeah, they did, and this guy invented it. Invisible ink that was made out of ferrous sulfate and water that could be used to write secret messages and would dry completely clear. To see the invisible messages, one would have to hold the paper to heat or douse it with a revealing chemical. George Washington and his men made great use of this invisible ink, using it to write between the lines in letters or in backs of books to send strategic but secret messages. And we owe it all to this fella, Dr. James Jay, 200 years ago.
I wonder if what the process was like. Did they just kind of stumble upon it? Or, well, let's take this chemical, and this chemical, and look, you can't see what it says. But then when you do this to it, wow.
I'm amazed at, in fact, I did a speech on this one time at Ohio University Chillicothe's graduation. The number of inventions that were not intended. They were looking for something else and discovered, what's this doing? The soft drink Coca-Cola was one of those. They were looking for something else, and they came up with that. A lot of different products. Silly Putty was another one. They were trying to do something else, and
I've
they
got
found
this running through my
Putty.
head. The one thing that stands out in my mind is the little blue pill that was intended for your heart, but it turned out to be something else.
And we'll leave it right there.
Pfizer took care of that, I think. So
there you go. You never know what you're going to come up with when you're trying to invent things. Yeah.
Some things just pop right up, you know.
You just had to go there, didn't you? You just had to. Oh, God.
Do we have a radio moment that pops into your mind?
Not that I can think of. Yeah, not that I can think of.
Some of the most memorable moments we had on the radio were when the only audible thing that you could hear was laughter. Because we couldn't say the words because we were laughing so hard.
Yeah, the one promo that we did like that, I think, was that the steak that we had?
That was the steak incident, yes.
Yeah.
someone brought in I'm trying to think, was it
the dock, wasn't it?
Yeah, the dock at Waters started serving breakfast, I think it was, and they served up steak.
Yeah.
Put steak on for breakfast. So they brought in this steak to us to
But it was
enjoy.
huge. So Dan was cutting it in half, and that's where somebody said something about
it was a 14-ouncer, and was shared a certain level weight of
a certain length of the remainder of it, and we got this was live on the air, and we got tickled, and that became the promo. It was nothing but us laughing on
30 seconds of laughter. So
yeah. Do you remember the time we interviewed Mitt Romney? He had written a book.
Yeah.
And we asked him, are you
3
going
times.
to run for president?
3 times.
And he would dodge the issue.
Yeah.
Of course, he ended up running for president.
Yeah, what was it, 5 months later, he came through with his bus tour and everything.
Hey, we tried to get this out of you. Yeah.
Yeah. Who else did we see? Did you interview Hillary Clinton?
That was Christina.
Christina did.
Because it was in the evening, and I did get a chance to, Vanessa and I caught up with, well, at that time, he was no longer president. Bill Clinton came back into Chillicothe, and he came over to the curb next to us, and I don't know if it was I or Vanessa that asked the question.
Just when he was walking through downtown?
Yes. Okay. John McCain, one time, when he was running for president, dropped some pizzas off to one of the fire stations, and I yelled out, I thought I was Sam Donaldson, Mr. McCain, and he came over, and I got to ask him a question. So those were some of the things.
Do you remember what the question was?
I can't remember. Something to do with why are you running for president or something like that. Or.
See, we also had, you had been covering President Clinton a number of times because he was here so often, it seemed.
For some reason, he kept coming back to Chillicothe. I'm not sure why. I mean, he was here like 3 or 4 times.
Yeah.
Twice as president and 2 other times afterwards.
To campaign for his wife.
Maybe it was Krispy Kreme donuts or something. I don't know. Yeah.
Could be. Yeah, I remember him running through the park with then Mayor Joe Salzer.
Stopped at McDonald's and
stopped at McDonald's, got their coffee and whatever else they needed. So
that was the day they had the town. That was the story that came out of that, and it had nothing to do with Bill Clinton. He was at Chillicothe High School, Hatton Gym, for this town hall meeting. At that time on the radio, WBEX was a CBS radio affiliate.
Right.
Bob Ditto and I, who was the morning man at that time, you were probably in Columbus at that point.
I was watching it on TV from the radio studio. Seeing all the people that I knew.
Yeah.
And there's more to the story, but go ahead.
Wolf Blitzer and all these guys were in what we used to call the rubber gym at Chillicothe. And I kept saying, okay, we're a CBS, and this is on the air live. I kept saying, we're a CBS affiliate. The White House correspondent is Bill Plant. Where's Bill Plant? I haven't seen Bill Plant all day. Where's Bill Plant? And then I heard this guy clearing his voice or clearing his throat saying, pardon me, I'm Bill Plant. And I turned around, and there he was. So I have a picture in my den of me interviewing Bill Plant. But he did come over.
That's pretty cool.
Where's Bill Plant?
I was working at Easy 108 at the time, WCEZ. Studios were up in Worthington, and my buddy had brought in a TV. So I'm sitting there watching the TV coverage of this. So here I am in Columbus watching Hatton Memorial Gymnasium. I see Coach Bill Trent standing there. I see the Corcoran family over here. Jai Breckenridge is coming up to give him a varsity jacket, Bill Clinton, that is. All the dignitaries that I knew, and I could just see all sorts of people sitting in the gymnasium. And I thought, well, this is really cool. I know everybody there, and I'm missing out on it. So Dad had passed away at this time. So my mom and sister were doing some of the probate stuff. They were having to go over to the lawyer's office there in Asheville. Meanwhile, my wife was working for Klein Vision Center in Circleville. So after all this is done, Missy gets stopped by the motorcade as Clinton goes by. She's going to lunch, and she can't go anywhere because here comes the presidential motorcade. Mom and my sister, Deb, are going through South Bloomfield to get to Asheville. They are stopped by the motorcade going by. So I'm thinking to myself, okay, I'm hearing from them all say, hey, we saw Clinton go by. Dan Jr., I go to pick up in Lockbourne, where we lived. I went to the bus stop, picked him up. He gets in the car, and he goes, Dad, I'm not going to wash this hand. And I said, why are you not going to wash that hand? I shook hands with the president.
How about that?
Now, Danny is, at this point in time, about 9, 10 years old. You know how 9 and 10-year-olds like to stretch the truth.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, there's no possible way. Everybody I know in Chillicothe has seen the president today. Missy got stopped by the president. Mom and Deb got stopped by the president. And my son's telling me he shook his hand. So when we get back to the house, I called the school, Hamilton South Elementary. And the secretary says, yes, Mr. Ramey. The president pulled we saw his limousine coming. All the kids had signs and the stuff. They're all standing outside the elementary, which is no longer there. And so he's standing there. He pulls in, gets out of the limo, shakes hands with all those little kids.
Including your son.
Yes. And I was left out completely.
Now we know who the important Ramey is in the family, yeah.
I do have to say, though, I did get a letter from Hillary Clinton when she was the first lady. I can't remember how it came about, but
don't call my husband anymore about shaking his hand.
Yeah, can you tell me something about why he's always in your city?
Golly.
But, that was a cool moment.
And long before you and I ever came along, there were a lot of presidents and presidential candidates that came through Chillicothe, Ohio.
Well, and I used to vacation here as a kid. Woodrow Wilson.
Yeah. A lot of famous people have been through here. Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much for watching. That's it for the show today. Anything special tomorrow?
We do have our Pickaway County Special Edition at 10 o'clock. Michelle Callahan of the Pickaway Library will be down. They've got some exciting things that are going on there. We've already covered one of them, the Children's Museum that's going to be eventually built there. They're running a little behind on that schedule, but Michelle has a lot of great programming for the community as far as the library and their branches, and she'll be in tomorrow morning to talk about that at 10 o'clock.
All right. And then we'll have this program again tomorrow around 11, right here with another edition of Litter Media Live. For the icon Mike Smith, I'm Dan Ramey. Enjoy the rest of your Tuesday, and get out and enjoy this weather, will you?